Hello, fellow dream chasers. Amber Tamarity-Losey here, coming at you tonight to share my top 3 tips to organic email list growth. And I really want to stress the organic part because growing an email list really is essential to running a successful business, and that goes for whether you're brick and mortar or you're strictly online. It doesn't matter. You need to have an email list in place. And in terms of running Facebook ads, if you know me, you know I love Facebook ads. Facebook ads are amazing, especially if you're looking to grow a little bit faster, right? You got to invest that money, and ideally it pays off then in terms of exponential growth, in terms of profits rolling in. But it can be really hard if A, you haven't really done much with your email list, B, you don't have an email list really at all, C, you have an email list, but you've just said, subscribe for updates. And so you've got friends and family and maybe some people you met at networking events, just kind of chilling on your list. Or you are ready to invest in Facebook ads, but first you have to invest in a consultant to help walk you through how to set up ads, or you want to invest in an e-course, right? That all takes money. And you're not always in that position as a business owner to make that investment. And so the smartest way to go about it is really to focus it on first on getting those organic free strategies in place. And so the first thing I want to talk about tonight is key to that list growth. It really is. And that is creating a lead magnet. Creating something that you are going to give in exchange for those people's email addresses. Now, just over the last 4 years when I've been running my own business, I have seen an intense change in how people value their email addresses, right? Even 3 years ago, it was easier to get people to sign up for general updates, or to sign up for your RSS feed, or to sign up, because they like you. Sure, nowadays, it is really rough. Because people, they're well aware of how cluttered their inbox can get quickly. Or, how many people are out there just pitching. And they don't want that. And so they're very careful about their email list. And so if you're not creating something that is a quality product, chances are good you're going to get a bunch of generic signups. And that's what your list is going to be. Generic. And we don't want that, because generic lists don't sell. Generic lists don't make money. You could have 5,000 people on your email list, but if they're not opening your stuff, if they're not clicking through, if they're not reading your stuff, you're just wasting money, you're wasting time, you're talking to the wall. Don't go that route. And so take the time to create a quality lead magnet. Now I'm hoping that I do not sound like a frog the whole time that I'm doing this training tonight. I apologize. No, my voice is not going out because I yell at my kids, or at least not all that often. Just got really bad allergies. I live in central Illinois and it's killing me. So again, apologize if I sound a little bit like Kermit tonight. I'll do my best not to. So let's talk about how to think about growing a quality lead magnet. First thing you want to consider is that ideal client, is that ideal buyer, that ideal investor, that ideal reader, whatever you want to talk about, your target market. What do they want? And it's not as simple as asking them, because I promise you they have no idea. It's on you to figure it out. And so maybe if you're a virtual assistant, right, and you're targeting other entrepreneurs, a good lead magnet for you might be creating a one-page checklist on everything you need to know, or the top 20 things you need to know before hiring your first virtual assistant. That would be amazing, because not only is it quickly actionable and consumable, right? As a service provider myself, as somebody who has hired VAs, it would be so nice to have that checklist in front of me to go through and go, okay, here's what I'm looking for, to kind of flesh out what exactly I need, what kind of person I'm looking for, all of that. But then for you, as that VA, guess who I'm going to turn to first when I'm going through that checklist? If I'm seeing your name or your email or your picture on it, you're going to be the one that I turn to. You're going to be the one that I go, oh, well, maybe she does suit my needs. Awesome. Or maybe you are a sleep consultant for moms with kids who don't want to sleep. Goodness knows there's lots of us out there like that. Maybe your lead magnet is a free 30-minute training on setting the foundational steps to developing a smart sleep routine. Because again, then when they're thinking about those foundational steps, when they get all of that in place and they feel really good about it, guess who they're going to turn to when they want to invest in an e-course to help them even more, or they want to invest in that one-on-one program? They're going to be looking to you because you provided such immense quality value that they were able to implement, that they were able to make use of, that genuinely helped them. You're going to be the one they want to hire. You're going to be the one that they're looking to when it comes time to make that investment. Now, typically, I say that having something quickly actionable and consumable is important, right? You look at when you hop over to a retail site, you get that pop-up almost all the time when you're shopping around. Sign up now for 15% off your first order. Even though that doesn't seem necessarily quickly actionable and consumable, it prompts people to want to make that investment, and to make that investment not just in terms of, shopping with you and making and buying, but in terms of giving you that email, because they want to buy from you. They're already on your site. You've already got them. You just got to kind of hook them a little bit more. You see a lot of times the countdown timers for redirects to where you get on someone's page and it's like, act within the next 10 minutes and you can have my budgeting planner for free. And so not only are they wanting to take action because, yes, I need that, but if they were already on your site reading about budgeting or reading about creating a household budget that'll help them get out of debt, they're going to want to print that off right away, especially if you've got strong copy in place. They're going to be excited to print it out and put it to use. That said, again, if you've been following me for a few years now, you may remember in 2016, crazy how time flies, summer of 2016, I launched my services site. Before that, I'd been running it through Thrifty Guardian, which is my finance blog for parents. But I created a different site, a services site, for my services as a digital marketing consultant and as a blogging mentor. And when I created that site, I knew that my email list for Thrifty Guardian certainly wasn't going to help me with my services site, because even though there may very well be people on Thrifty Guardian that want to learn about running a profitable blog or want to learn about working from home, right? Definitely there's some tie-ins a little bit. They were not my target market. And so I ended up creating, or rather revamping, this 78-page planner that I myself had used when I first launched Thrifty Guardian. So it walked through creating a business plan and creating a mission statement, understanding your strengths and weaknesses, identifying your target market. I mean, it still is a goldmine. But even back then, I really took the time, again, to think about what it is my target market wanted, and I gave it to them. And I had people, I remember I had a business coach back then, and she was like, this is not only too much because it's not quickly actionable and consumable, but it's too much in terms of the value that I was giving away. She said that you're allowing people to do too much on their own. They're not going to turn around and invest in you. Can you guess what happened? Not only did I grow my email list, again organically, I was not in the world of Facebook ads yet, grew my email list to almost 1,000 people in 10 days. But, second, my business coach was wrong in that it absolutely led to me having to waitlist people 6 months out. Imagine that for yourself. To where you are so busy that for the next 6 months, you're golden. You get to rock it, you get to do what you love, you get to be bringing in that money, and then you've still got people waiting after those 6 months are over to want to invest in you still. So there's something to be said for giving too much, maybe. And I say that also because now, again, if you follow me, you know that I have Purpose Planning and Profits, which is that same planner that I gave away for free, very much tweaked, and it's grown. It includes video trainings now and all sorts of things. It's still something that I use to this day, especially not just for quarterly analysis, but when I'm setting my year goals and everything. I not only love it and am proud of it, but that then reflects so well that it's something to where I now charge almost $200 for it. And so something where originally I was giving it away for free, I had people telling me, oh, it's too much, you're so ignorant, why would you give that much away for free? The ROI on that has been insane. And so even if you're worried about taking too much time to create that lead magnet, or you're worried about giving away too much, really take the time to think that through. Is it that you're giving away too much? Or is it that, you really have created this quality lead magnet that's going to lead to buyers, that's going to lead to investors, that's going to lead to people opening your email list and tuning into your live streams and joining your Facebook groups, whatever the case may be. Really think it through. Don't just slap something together on Canva and think that you're going to get a great response. Take the time to create a quality lead magnet. And then from there, take the time to set up a quality welcome series. I cannot tell you how many times I will sign up for something because I like to snoop. I don't, it's very rare that I will sign up for something as somebody looking to use it. A lot of times I like to look at what other people are doing, and that's okay. I'm very cautious about what I'm doing there and in terms of unsubscribing, but people are going to do that to you too. It's the way of the game. But so many times I see people who have like 3 emails in place for their welcome series. The first one being, here's your lead magnet. Okay, bye. Talk to you later. And the next one is, oh, and by the way, I'm Amber Losey, and I'm a digital marketing consultant. Okay, bye. See you later. And then maybe the third one is, oh, and here's my website. Come check out my latest blog post. Okay, bye. See you later. And then they jump over to being on the house list, the general list, where they're just sending out those weekly emails. No, they may have thought behind those, but we go from kind of this introductory, right? Think about like a date, just getting to know each other, that first date, to all of a sudden, you want to come over and do what, huh? No. So really, set up at least 5 solid emails in place, not including the one in which you deliver your freebie, to where you are making that connection with your readers, to where you've got a CTA, a call to action in there that asks them to respond to your email. Prove to them that you are not some robot behind the screen, that you are not just some nobody or somebody who is too good to talk to their readers. Let them know that you are open to making those connections, because that is where the money lies. And then, talk about what it is you've got going on. I talk all the time about life as a work-at-home mom. Not only because it ties so well into my story as in terms of success, because I'm somebody who, my kids are currently 4 and 5. When I started, they were 10 months and 2 years old. And I have no help. I don't have a nanny. I don't have family in the area to help me. And I remind people, if I can do it with no help, you can. Believe me, you can. And so give them some background about what it is you've got going on. Share your story to what got you to where you are today. Again, talk to them as if you are trying to woo them, but in a subtle way. Be sly about it, but be authentic. Be genuine. Don't stretch the truth and try to make yourself sound better than you are, because people will realize that. They're going to notice if you're just talking about how rich you are, or look at my awesome car, look at my awesome house, look at this awesome vacation I got to take last week because I made $20,000 last month. Okay, grats. But when somebody's first starting to get to know you, dropping stuff like that, even if it's true, is going to turn them off. So you really want to be very mindful about that welcome series. And you really want to take the time to automate it and to review it, to research and dive into your analytics. Look at what people are clicking through. Look at what subject lines are prompting action better. Don't just set it and forget it. Don't set it and think, all right, well, I did what Amber said. I've got 5 good emails in, and I'm done. Woo! It doesn't work that way. You really have to take time with this. If nothing else, pull time away from social media. Your email list is more important, I promise you that. And then lastly, in terms of the quality lead magnet, in terms of getting that information from the get and making those connections, one thing to think about is the information that you are collecting. And I bring this up, it was just an add-in for this presentation because I was actually on the phone with some folks at MailChimp a few days ago, which is the email service provider that I use, and we were talking about the new tagging features that are rolling out and all of that. And one thing that got brought up was collecting birthday information, which is something you've always been able to do, but it clicked for me. Mind you, again, this is something where I've been running my own business for almost 4 years. I've been using ESPs, especially MailChimp, for over a decade. It just clicked in my brain, like, why am I not collecting birthdays? Not because I necessarily care how old people are, though that is certainly valuable information in and of itself, but because you can be making a special offer to that person on their birthday that, again, makes it personal, makes it genuine, and even if you're not making an offer to them, just the fact that you're going to wish them a happy birthday and maybe not make an offer, that's going to make them go, oh, well, isn't that nice? She is somebody I want to follow. She is someone I want to pay attention to. I think that in and of itself would really help your open rates, would really help call that list too, because you don't want a bunch of people on there that aren't taking action, that aren't paying attention to you. So you can kind of see, well, if they're not going to open their birthday email, they haven't opened the last 5 emails before that, maybe they need to be off my list. Or that birthday email could be the one that prompts them to get back into reading your stuff, that prompts them to get back into clicking through to reading your latest blog post or buying your services or whatever the case may be. So again, just kind of an extra little side note to think about. I myself am experimenting with that now, so we'll see how it goes. But second is to use social media, but to be smart about it. Now I know I just told you a few minutes ago, we'll take time away from it. Absolutely. If you've only got a certain amount of time to where you have to choose between email list growth or talking to people in Facebook groups, get your email list in order first. That said, there are so many avenues for you to take to grow your email list organically. So there's Quora. This is something that I myself have not been into a whole lot lately, just because, again, there's only so many hours in the day. You got to be strategic about what it is you're doing. But my husband has been super into it. Apparently you can even make money with it. So that's pretty cool, right? But you could also backlink. So when you're answering people's questions, if your lead magnet even better expounds upon what it is you're sharing, then you're going to want to link to it. And so Quora is great. LinkedIn is great. Instagram, Twitter, those three especially, right? LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. If those aren't your primary platforms, if that isn't where your audience is going to look to you first, schedule it out through Buffer, through Hootsuite or whatever. You don't have to reinvent the wheel here. But you can continuously remind people and remind those new viewers how best to stay in touch with you and how best to find that first golden nugget that you're going to offer them. And then, of course, there's Facebook groups. And that is how, like I said, when I launched my services site, I was in a lot of Facebook groups that I'd been in for a while, that people knew me. They, again, we had made those genuine connections and all that networking that went on. And so when I launched this lead magnet in the groups that allowed it, I promoted it. But then when I, would look through, especially once Facebook rolled out the in-group search function, fun, awesome, yes, because then I can look and see, okay, who in the last 2-3 days has asked a question about Pinterest? Well, here, let me answer your question. Again, you want to make that genuine connection. You want to be smart about what it is you're doing. But then, oh, by the way, here's a link to my 4-module training series on how to start finding success with Pinterest. Or when I see people asking questions about how do I create an editorial calendar, or how do you organize your content, or yesterday I saw someone that was like, when you sit down to write, how long does it take you to come up with an idea? I was like, Well, ideally you have an editorial calendar in place, because not only does it prevent you from sitting there staring at a blinking cursor and wasting time, but then you're strategic about the content you're putting out and the sales when you're going to be making those and on and on. So again, genuinely answered the question, and then I went, by the way, here's a link to my editorial calendar template and training video that I offer. So again, you really want to be smart about what you're doing on social media, about the connections that you're making and how you're networking. But that's not to say that you can't link drop, because again, that all leads back to taking the time to craft that quality lead magnet so you're standing behind it, you're excited about it, you're proud of it, and that then reflects to those people, to your readers, to your target market, and makes them excited and want to read it and want to check it out. So really think about that. Think about where your target market is, where people are going to be asking questions that tie to your lead magnet. Don't just be in a bunch of entrepreneurial Facebook groups. If you are an Etsy seller, you're going to want to be in other mom groups. If you're selling stuff that moms are buying, being in an entrepreneur group, yes, it's great. You're going to want to build that community with other entrepreneurs, but that's not where your target market is. So be very smart and strategic about how you're spending your time on social media. And then lastly, because I know some of you are probably thinking, what about Pinterest? Like, Amber, I thought you loved Pinterest. You mentioned Pinterest briefly, but yes, Pinterest. Pinterest is wonderful. Pinterest is responsible for almost half of or for a little over half, rather, of the traffic that Thrifty Guardian sees. SEO is obviously a big one, too. But both of those together don't mean much if you don't have a blog. And so even if you are not a blogger, the best way to generate leads, to grow your email list, is to have 5 pillar posts. 5 posts that are really well written. Because again, I cannot stress this enough, taking the time to front load your work, to create that quality lead magnet, to be strategic about your social media, and to take the time to at least just have 5 posts. You don't have to be a blogger. 5 posts that are SEO, that have good images attached to them. Because then guess what? Not only are you going to have people coming in from Google or from Bing or from Yahoo or whatever, checking out your work, you'll get that Pinterest traffic. It's not something where you won't see the same results as somebody who's a regular, consistent blogger, right? Because Pinterest likes new content being put out. But that's not to say you still won't see results. And so, creating at least 5 pillar posts that relate to your lead magnet will really go a long way, again, in letting that organic free traffic flow, to getting those people signing up to your list, to opening your emails, to clicking through, to making use of your freebie, right? You don't want people just downloading your freebie and then forgetting about it. You've really got to woo them in such a way that they not just want this awesome lead magnet, they want to put it to use. So take, if you're kind of like, but I'm not a blogger, I don't even know where to start. Here are my top tips for that. So a little subsection here. 1 is make use of what it is you're talking about in your lead magnet. So let's, if we're going back to, if you're a sleep consultant for moms with kids, then you might write posts about setting the foundation. And so let's say that you're offering a training video. Well, touch on those first 3 tips. Tell them why it's important to setting a routine, setting foundational steps. Give them the how in the training, give them the why in that blog post. Or if you are a VA and you're wanting to do that lead magnet of a PDF checklist of the top 20 things you need to know about for hiring a VA, then maybe you write a post about 10 different ways a virtual assistant will save you 30 hours a week. Or 10 different things a VA can do in less time than you, right? So you got that little curiosity there. Whatever the case may be, make them good posts, meaning over 500 words. Have one H1, so header 1, have one H1, which is typically going to be your title of your post, and then the H2 divided up into subsections a little bit. So, if you're thinking about your blog post like a book, H1 is going to be the title of that book, H2 is going to be the chapter titles. Doing it this way, again, is not only going to very much help your SEO traffic from Google and the like, but it's going to help the readability, it's going to keep people on your page, and it's going to make them want to sign up and download your stuff on your email list. If you truly have no time, if you are sitting here telling me, Amber, I love what you're putting out, but I don't have time to focus on my email list right now. I don't know, let alone write a blog. I don't have time to write 5 blog posts, 25 to 5,000 words. That's too much. First of all, go back to my front-loading comment, but also hire it out then. If you were really so stretched for time, which I get, again, I have a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old, I get it. Turn to Fiverr or turn to TextBroker. If you've got live streams that you've done, and I've done this myself, if you've got live streams that you've done that people were receptive to, that they loved, they responded to, hire someone to turn it into a blog post. It costs you $30, $40. Or, I wouldn't go so far as to just give like a general, here's what I want you to write about. That's probably going to cost you more time and money than it's worth. But if you've got an email series that you've already had in place that people are receptive to, but you're switching things up, you're creating a new lead magnet, you're creating a new welcome series, give a freelancer that welcome series, ask them to turn it into a blog post. There are so many ways to reuse and repurpose content to where I just will not buy the I don't have time for this. Because if you don't have time for it now, you're certainly not going to have time for it 6 months from now when you're still struggling to make sales, you're still struggling to see those profits come in. Don't do that to yourself. Get it done today so that you can all the better enjoy tomorrow. And then, of course, use Pinterest. If you have not signed up for my Pinterest training series, I'll make sure to stick it in the comments below. But it's just bit.ly/learnpinterest. All caps in the Learn Pinterest part, because if you don't know yet, URL shorteners are case sensitive. So if you go to bit.ly/learnpinterest, all caps, you can learn how to set up that those foundational steps for Pinterest to where if you've got those 5 pillar posts, again, you're not going to see the same results, certainly not immediately because Pinterest is a long game, but you will see some results. And it's certainly a starting point. It'll certainly get you well on your way to where you then have that information to not just see what people are responding to, but to see how your target market is responding to those subject lines, to the copy you're putting within the email, to the schedule in which you're sending out emails, to the CTAs of, hey, write me back, let me know about X, Y, and Z. Use all that information, because then when it comes time to run Facebook ads to grow your email list, not only are you going to save a lot of money, because there's going to be a lot less trial and error there, but you're going to be seeing an exponentially higher ROI than somebody who is kind of just starting from scratch and fumbling around. So, with all of that said, again, I am here. I am live in the chat, in the comment section. Comment below. Let me know if you've got any questions. If you want feedback on a lead magnet idea that you have, comment below. Let us know. Goodness knows I'm not the only one who is the say-all, be-all, end-all of lead magnets by any means. So, seek feedback from multiple people. Ideally, again, people that are in your target market, because Joe Schmo in some rando Facebook group is certainly going to have less valuable advice than people who are actually going to be signing up for your list. But again, start somewhere, because that is the key above all else, is to really start, to make email list growth a priority. Because if you want to do it organically, you want to do it for free right now, you've got to make it a priority. You've got to, if you don't have time, if you don't have money to invest, you've got to invest that time in doing it. If you are still stuck, if you are like, okay, well, I think I have a decent email or lead magnet, but my open rate is garbage, or my open rate is great, but nobody's actually clicking through. whatever the case may be, if you're still floundering, or if there's something else in terms of digital marketing that you're like, okay, well, I'm pretty good about my email list, but Pinterest, I need to learn a little bit more about that. Book a free strategy session with me. There is no catch. There is no pitch. I'm happy to just talk to y'all for 20 minutes. So if you go, there'll be a link again down in the comments and at the end of this video, calendly.com/Ambert. It's fun, I know. AMBERT for Amber Temerity. Go to Calendly, book a session with me. Again, it's totally free, 20 minutes to where you can pick my brain and get feedback, get unstuck, get to going to where you're starting to see those profits roll in, to where you back up from that burnout and feel excited about what it is you're putting out there. Feel pumped about making those connections with your target market, because that is where the profits lie, is in breathing fire into your passions, to getting excited about your business, to really making authentic, genuine, one-on-one connections with each and every one of your readers as best you can. And there's so many ways to go about that. So again, if you want to talk more about that or anything related to blogging and digital marketing, I am your go-to girl. Go to calendly.com/AmberT. Again, it'll be down in the comments as well as at the end of this video on a cute little business card. But again, if you have any other questions, comment below. I am here to help you, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your Wednesday.